Sometimes you watch a movie and it just doesn't resonate with you. I mean, at all. But when you hear the 4K is absolutely stunning and the visuals are fantastic and the sound is booming, you just might want to give that movie a second chance. And I just did that. So today I'll be showcasing the SteelBook Dune. Welcome to the exhibit. The visuals show the Bene Gesserit transport landing on planet Canadan, the platform opening and the Bene Gesserit witches walking out into the dark rain-soaked environment. Looking closely, you can see the dark outline of trees giving you a hint of the surrounding background. While the transport gives the front of the still a sinister frame, the turtle in gold foil lends an understated elegance to the overall look. The colour palette is actually quite dark and foreboding, giving the steel a more dramatic cinematic feel, with the gradient colours transitioning from deep blacks and midnight blues at the top into lighter blues before culminating into stark whites at the base, giving the image a sense of descending illumination. The strategic plumes of radiant white mimics the harsh glow of the floodlights, casting an otherworldly aura on the Bene Gesserits, emphasizing the contrast between dark and light. This results in a striking atmospheric design that conveys mystery, power, and tension. The SteelBook artwork incorporates lines and curves with perfect balance, giving the SteelBook an almost industrial look and feel. While there's no single dominating focal point, the deliberate use of negative space and subtle composition creates a striking, cohesive visual. This clean, uncluttered design gives each element its own visual identity that results in a piece that's both understated and powerful. The restrained approach captures the film's darker tones, showing that you don't always have to hit every visual beat of the movie. The back of the SteelBook continues the moody atmospheric design, with a striking image of a dropship hovering in the sky, its open bay doors casting a faint glow showing the interior of the ship. Just beneath the opening, four silhouetted figures stand motionless, their forms echoing the Bene Gesserit figures from the front of the cover. Subtle yet intentional, creating a visual dialogue between the front of the SteelBook and the back. The strategic use of negative space and silhouettes creates a powerful sense of scale and isolation. There's no need for dramatic images, just stark composition and controlled design, emphasizing presence over motion. Together, both sides form a unified visual narrative. The final effect is a stunning and simple masterclass in atmospheric SteelBook design. The disc is a stark departure from the overall design, with the Blu-ray disc in a plain blue and the 4K in a rusty pink, sketched in what seems to be a celestial map, which actually looks quite good. But I can't quite help think that the disc would have looked better if it was a midnight blue to match the actual SteelBook, or they could have added some imagery just to give it a different dimension. You would think that the artwork on the SteelBook would reflect the film's sweeping visual tone, embodying the vast desert-dominated aesthetic that defines this epic movie. But in this case, you would be wrong. Instead, the design opted to reflect the tones and the aesthetic that gave the movie a more darker tone. The image of Paul Atreides standing against the vast sun-scorched dunes of Arrakis instantly evokes the film's dreamy atmosphere, alive with golden sands, deep shadows, and the imposing presence of the colossal sandworm, all of which does not reflect the artwork of the SteelBook. When it comes to the tone of the SteelBook's artwork, it focuses more on the film's darker, more intense visuals, like the grim Harkonnen fortress on Giedi Prime. Instead of the bright desert scenes, it highlights the movie's shadowy, dramatic tones. While the film swings between the harsh sunlight of Arrakis and the brighter sequences, the SteelBook leans into the tension and atmosphere of its most gripping scenes. The result is a bold, striking design that still captures the essence of Dune, just through a more darker cinematic lens. For SteelBook fans, it's a fresh and more subdued take on the movie's visuals. The finish has no embossing or debossing to speak of, and with the absence of a gloss finish, you would think it would make for a pretty boring steelbook. But I think you'd be wrong, because the unique imagery and the subtle use of the white base that shows off the slight sheen really powers through, making it a very nice looking steelbook. But what really works for me is how the white base is used to expertly enhance the look of the rain effect, giving this steelbook an extra dimension. The finish is a lesson in subtlety and one well taught. I love the way they took risks, bucking the trend of the usual imagery of sandy vistas and using the same colour palettes of oranges and reds. Instead, they opted for darker tones, mirroring the movie's more sinister scenes. I also love how the image was framed and the use of negative space. Coupled with the fantastic use of colours and gradients, it really raised the artistry of the artwork. I think the artwork was a risky choice, as most of the artwork released for Dune were very similar, so the decision to go in a totally different direction was a bold one, and one that saw a complete sellout of this edition, which really cements the saying, big risks, big reward. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you liked my showcase of Dune. If you want to show your appreciation, please like and subscribe, share if you want to, and I'll see you next time on The Exhibit.